What's good, everybody? Welcome in to the Early Edge in 5. More best bets for the night in sports. On this show, we have absolutely no time to waste, but quickly, do not forget tonight at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, it is Early Edge Live as we count down to Monday Night Football. The Rams going to Lambeau Field to take on the Green Bay Packers. 7.5. Right now, Green Bay total right around 40-41. But this is about the here and the now. Let's bring in the stars of the show. We got the speculator. We got our 5-tool player, AB, and Spector. We're starting with you because tonight at Lambeau Field, this is what Aaron Rodgers loves his entire career. He's loved primetime games. All eyes on him. Start us off.
Yeah, so I don't like anything on the Rams side. I just don't have enough data to know how they're going to play with Baker Mayfield. We really only have that one game, and that was with him very little, prep time. So we're going to go to that Packers side, like you said, and we're starting with Aaron Rodgers over 223.5 passing yards. In the 6 games against the Rams, he's averaged 294. Of course, he had Devontae Adams. That's why our SportsLine AI projects 233 passing yards for him to get, giving you about a 10-yard edge. Before this Raiders game, then the last week, the Rams allowed 348 yards to Geno and 320 yards to Mahomes. And I normally don't use a storyline, but I got to today. The Packers need to win every single game they have left in order to make it to the playoffs. And they have a really tough game against the Dolphins next week. So if they happen to lose that game, it's possible that Aaron Rodgers won't play again for the rest of the season. And the fact that Jordan Love is entering his last year of his contract, he might not play with the Packers again. So I think primetime lights, this is a game, might be his last home game in Green Bay. He is going to go nuts on this game. So we got Aaron Rodgers over 23.5 passing yards. And real quick, other pick is going to be Aaron Jones over 20.5 receiving yards. Aaron Jones gets a whopping 22.1% target share in zone coverage. And the Rams play the most zone coverage for defense in the league. Our SportsLine A models projecting 23 yards, receiving yards for Aaron Jones. And that's all I got for you today.
All right. I like it a lot. I don't think it's that much of a stretch to say that Aaron Rodgers' days in Green Bay could be numbered. By the way, Stevenson in the chat said, it's my 30th birthday. Can I get a shout out, Coach? There you go. He goes, I've been with you guys since the very beginning. Stevenson, we love everybody like you. We love you today. Happy birthday. Hopefully it's a good day for you and you pay it forward. That's what we're all about here at the Early Edge. But today's about you. Now, AB, somebody in the chat said you had a book, and I don't think that's ever been written before ever. Did you have a book somewhere?
Yeah, I did, and I'll tell you why. Because here's the thing. I'm interested if any of the referees want to do their job tonight, okay? I'm just a little heated over last night. So, those 2 buffoonery calls took me from 5-1 to 2-4. So, yeah, you know what? I'm going to read about an American hero named Gaspipe in the Mafia there. So there you go.
I don't know that I've ever seen a game have more stuff hinge on play calls by the refs than last night in Washington. And then you got head coaches that can't comment. You got players who are classy, like Terry McLaurin, who stood there even though he was right and the official was wrong, and he still was a class act. So infuriating on every level. But AB, I'm going to do you a solid. I'm going to give you the maestro spot today to make you feel just a little bit better, maybe a little more respected. So just hang tight for a second. You're welcome.
I appreciate that.
You're welcome. All right. Now, I had one other play I was going to give out today, but we just found out from the speculator that a few minutes ago, LeBron James was ruled out. Anthony Davis is already hurt. So we're going to take that over off the board to 29.5, even though at SportsLine it also has the over. Be very careful, though. Check the lineups because we've been screwed a couple of times in the last week because players said they were going to play and then they don't. No over tonight. But I do have 2 overs that I like in the Monday Night Football game. You just heard Spector, and I believe that what he said is true. They want to come out tonight. They've had an off week. They're rested. They're fired up. They're healthy. So I'm going to go 2 team totals. First half, 10.5, just too low. And then team total for the game, over 23. The last 2 weeks, they've scored 33 and 28. They're starting to open up the offense. That's why that Aaron Jones play for Spector is fantastic. No more running up the gut. Let's air it out. It doesn't matter. What does matter is that we score at least 24 points tonight. That's all I care about. Now, AB, I've given you a chance to settle it down just a little bit. Bring us home.
We're going to do it indeed. No, Coach. I appreciate that. Look, so I pretty much agree with everything both of you have lined out here, right? Like, I think the game script is going to be exactly that. So my play is going to be Baker Mayfield over 17.5 completions tonight. First, I believe the Rams are going to be playing from a negative game script. Number two, you look at Baker Mayfield in his last game, his first game with the Rams. They don't try really anything risky whatsoever. I mean, that offense is 6 yards and I think especially on the road, inclement weather, cold weather, that is going to be the same approach. You know Los Angeles is going to run the football. That's what Sean McVay wants to do. But when they do air it, and they're going to have to at some point, it's going to be short, high percentage completions there. Really the only concern would be if Baker Mayfield gets taken out for some, odd reason, to put Walford to get him some snaps. I don't think that's going to be the play here. So 17.5, yeah, that's a pretty low number. I'm going to ride that with Baker.
All right. By the way, in the chat, Glenn's asking, what do you make, and maybe you haven't looked at that yet, passing and rushing yards from Baker Mayfield tonight as well?
Yeah, so Baker Mayfield's number is unbelievably low. I think it's 8.5, I think is where it sits right now. I think that's in play. And I'll also say this, Aaron Rodgers has been running the football the last 5 games. I'm not saying a ton, but he has been. And when he does, he breaks off chunk yardage. So as weird as it sounds, like both quarterback rushing props are definitely in play tonight.
Real quick. Go ahead, Specty.
The rushing prop for Aaron Rodgers is like 1.5 yards.
Yeah.
Is
that what it is?
It's 1.5 yards. It's very low. I actually thought about possibly putting that one on there, but yeah, it's very low.
All right. Well, I've got to ask you guys a little breaking news, and I want to get your reaction in real time. So we have a thread here at the Early Edge that everybody in the crew is on. One of our crew members just texted this. Credible source. Jalen Hurts out 3 to 6 weeks. Shoulder. Game has been pulled. Dallas is now -5. The MVP odds have been pulled as well. Now he was -150 this morning, +300 to win the MVP. So, Specty, let me start with you. If this is true, humongous news in the NFL. What would your model, how would it have to be adjusted to take Jalen Hurts out?
Our model considers every single play. Like it goes in and learns the patterns of how each team plays and how each team likes to play. So it will really adjust for that because you're going to need a quarterback who can both run the ball and pass the ball like Jalen Hurts. And there's not very many out there, especially not backups. So I think there's going to be a really big adjustment to Philadelphia. At least they have a very solid defensive capability, but that's a big hit. That's a big blow for sure.
AB, from a betting standpoint and how we look at the Eagles now, he has been the MVP. I don't think we can dispute that. What do you say? Just I know you just heard it 5 seconds ago.
Yeah. So, all right. So that game is the Eagles at Dallas, correct?
Yes.
And you said Dallas is.
Let me double check and make sure. So that's week 16. I apologize. We're doing this in real time. It is at Dallas, 425 at Dallas.
And you said the Cowboys are only -5?
They just switched to -5.
That's surprising. I figured if Jalen Hurts were out, that number would have been a whole lot more, specifically because Dallas and Dak Prescott play so differently against NFC East opponents as compared to everyone else. It goes to show you that the books believe in the Philadelphia Eagles as a whole. And I believe their backup, Gardner Minshew, right?
Yes.
Minshew mania. Look.
Minshew mania.
Dude, it is. Look. Gardner. Okay, what you're going to see from Gardner Minshew and Nick Sirianni is almost a similar approach to what Kyle Shanahan has been doing with Brock Purdy and really with Jimmy Garoppolo, is that you're just going to not put them in risky situations, right? We could run the football. We could do different things. We could play defense. Like the books only having Cowboys -5 at home. It goes to show you something.
There might be a little something about almost losing to Houston and losing to the Jags and giving up 40.
Well, let me say this. On the look at you're right. But on the look aheads 2 weeks ago, Dallas was -4. Like before any of that, right? So that's what I'm saying. That like I actually did a piece on the Eagles if they'd be favored in every single game. So it's so funny that came up because I was looking at that Dallas spot. Yeah, like we'll watch what the books do. I'm fascinated to see what they do with this. 100%.
Yeah, me too. I'm also fascinated because we got a show tonight, and it's going to be moving the next 2 or 3 hours a lot. So we'll definitely talk about this on Early Edge Live tonight. By the way, Bradley, thank you in the chat. He says at FanDuel, it's Dallas -4.5, and it's 5 at DraftKings. So, Bradley, thank you for that. All right, a good discussion point. Spector, you got to get your crew together. You're going to have to do some work, son. You got to do some work.
We're going to have to make some adjustments.
Grab some paper. Grab your pencil. Here's the recap courtesy of the Snake on the ones and the two speculator. He's on Aaron Rodgers. He believes tonight's going to be a big night. Aaron Rodgers is not affected by the weather at all. Against the Rams, 6-1 straight up, 7-0 against the spread in his career. Rodgers over 223.5 passing yards, -115. Aaron Jones over 20.5 receiving yards, -105. Somebody asked about their rushing numbers. The Rams are fantastic against the rush. We're going to steer clear of the running game tonight. It's going to be all through the air. Then AB, Baker Mayfield, a lot of little short dinks and dunks, over 17.5 completions. Then if you're going to cash with me, you're going to do with these two plays. The Packers will score tonight. I promise you. First half team total over 10.5. Packers team total for the game. Get it before it gets to 24. That's a very important number. Don't let it switch on you. Get it at 23. Woo, breaking news today, gentlemen. I love breaking news live on the show. It makes it so much fun.
I'm glad that you did that. You brought that up. Yeah, 100%.
Thank you, AB. I appreciate that pat on the back. I'll take it. I will take it. And with that being said, there's only one thing left to do. And I believe you all know what that is. I can't wait for Spector to do this one time. You got your marching orders. Let's take all of these tickets straight to the pay window. My entire crew, love them all. The Speculator, our 5-tool player, AB, who runs the brand, and, of course, the Snake, behind the scenes, every single show, doing the work. I am the coach. We'll see you all tonight at 7:30 p.m. Eastern for Early Edge Live. Yes, this is your daily sports betting brand of record. Yes, we do call it the Early Edge. And, yes, sometimes, oh, yes, sometimes we do it in 5. Good luck.